Hey guys, Jim Chester here, live from Cairo Fest 2019. I have Dr. Craig Foote here with me. Where'd you come over here from?
I'm from Australia, from Perth in Australia.
So we have an Aussie here with me. I just had Dr. Ryan Reeder on with me. He's actually from South Africa and he lives over in the UK. And I bet if you asked Craig where most people think his accent's from, what do they say?
UK. Yep, for sure. They think I'm a pom.
So that's the good humor that we do here on Cairo Hustle is we just kind of like, get a good flow with each other. But I know there's some serious things, I know you presented here this weekend. But before we jump into what you talked about in your presentation, let's just talk a little bit about Cairo Fest and what it means for you to be over here.
It's great to be here. I attempted to try and come here last year and things didn't work out so well, but this year's been great. Great to connect with people who talk about subluxation openly. Coming from our country, it's a little bit different over there. And the event's great. It's some great sponsors are here. You guys are here, of course. The speakers are really good quality. A half an hour, I think, presentation is a good amount of time to get into some depth and take home some nuggets. So, it's a great weekend.
So you've put your head in, you've gone in there and you've seen some of these presentations. Maybe give us a takeaway that you had.
Yeah, so look, I got to go to my old friend Tracy Wilson, who is a great speaker, great storyteller. He spoke, not necessarily someone who uses PowerPoint, which is great. He was talking about the three different types of love. Ergo, and it was really good anyway. It was made me sort of think about my relationship with my wife, my peers, and my profession as well. So I think that's always a good thing to reflect on.
Amazing takeaway. And I know that one of the things you're doing here, more importantly, is you're supporting the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. Let's talk a little bit about why you're doing that.
Yeah, so clearly in Australia at the moment, it's not great for us as chiropractors who adjust subluxations and wellness focused. The regulations in Australia, it's pretty dire at the moment with kids under the age of 2 not being able to be manually adjusted, pending an investigation to be released next month, and the really sad thing about that, there's no one's been injured, no complaints have been made, but it's just fear that's in Australia at the moment that has caused this all to happen. So we don't know how that's going to end up. We've had a massive outpouring from our patients in Australia, which has been great, but at this stage it's still not looking great. And I think the thing that's really been the issue is a lack of research that investigates subluxation and the adjustment from the way we see things, rather than just being pain-based and headaches and back pain, those sorts of things. Actually understanding, what does an adjustment do? What is in a subluxation? What is the impact on the community? And if we'd had all that already, we wouldn't really be having this issue, and that's what we need more of. And that's what the foundation is about, providing that research. We've been doing it for quite a long time, and it's quite clear that it's something that people need more of it. So
my biggest question to you at this moment is, what can people do to support you?
Get behind us, become a member of the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. It sounds like, yes, we're called the Australian Spinal Research Foundation, but more than 80% of our research actually occurs outside of Australia. So you'd be familiar with Heidi Harvick and Kelly Holt and all these researchers that are in that people are loving. We're very proud of the fact that we were instrumental in discovering those guys, as they were quite a lot younger, and we funded a lot of these guys. But we're also not just wanting to continue to fund the same researchers. We actually want more Kellys, more Heidis, and they do exist. And the great thing is we are all now set up. We're scalable with our systems at the foundation, so we just need more members. Great thing about a member is it allows us to increase our revenue, which means more money for research, but it doesn't actually cost us anything more. So that's what we want to be, members.
So one of the things I talked to Craig about before I jumped on this interview with him today is I said, "Hey, I'm going to jump in and support the research for spinal research in Australia, and if people want to join me and they want to join on the force of giving money, because there's three things you can give in this world, guys. You can give your time, your talent, or your treasure. And what I've realized is I can give a bit of all of that. But with this one aspect, I'm willing to give some of my treasure. So what does it look like for other people to give some of their treasure to you?
Well, it's just a case of jumping online and joining up as a member. We've actually this year updated our constitution so that prior only chiropractors could be members, and when we were looking at that, that's just not the way to go. Not just chiropractors benefit from this; it's actually humanity benefits from this. So that's opened it up for patients to anyone who benefits from chiropractic care can become a member of the Australian Spinal Research Foundation in any country. For sure. I mean, we have international board members there. We're worldwide. But yeah, thank you for coming on board.
Yeah, I think that it's very timely because as my star rises, I want to tithe back to things that I really believe in, and I think that we need to protect the sacred trust. And by doing that, I'm not a chiropractor. I'm sure many of you guys know that out there, but I see how invaluable it is to get children adjusted and make sure that I always say it's easier to make healthy children than fix broken adults. And so many times people misconstrue what chiropractors actually are doing for their service aspect of adjusting, and there's so much inconclusive idea until they actually go through and have an exam done and have the treatment protocol performed on them before they come to conclusion of what an actual chiropractor does. So I think that anybody that's in opposition of what chiropractors are doing for pediatrics, especially children and babies, they should definitely understand what it looks like for them firsthand to go through a protocol of getting an exam, an x-ray, and an adjustment before they come to terms of saying this isn't good for people, especially it isn't good for kids.
Absolutely, and unfortunately we do get put into a category. I spoke about this today, and often we get put into a category that's not the category we actually want to get into until people actually realise that, as you say, and experience it firsthand. They don't really have a informed decision. So bring them in. We've had a medical doctor come into our practice recently, and it's happens occasionally, but he's doing really well so far. So we need more of it. We need more people understanding.
And I don't want to push the boulder over the edge, but when you guys do have a child that's suffering with something like colic, or they're suffering with something like acid reflux, and you don't know where to go or who to trust, and you go to that crazy chiropractor, and they put that to rest with your little one, then you might think twice instead of mandating it away from all the other families that love and adore what chiropractors do, checking, detecting, and correcting vertebral subluxation from cradle to grave. And if you believe in that, go to the website and support Craig and his mission with the Australian Spinal Research Foundation. And what website can we send them to?
Yeah, the website is www.spinalresearch.com.au, and there'll be buttons there to get to membership, and you can just go in there and fill in the details, and Bob's your uncle, as we say in Australia. So that'd be great. Fantastic.
Well, once again, I appreciate you, Craig, for being on with me.
And thanks for joining the tribe.
Yeah, I'm going to just keep on giving because you can't outgive the giver. And then once you start giving, you see what you push out, you get back. Yep. It's kind of like the Carmetic wheel. If you push it really slow, the Carmetic wheel comes back to you even slower.
Because you're going to become a member, today I did this talk, and I brought a little friend to ChiroFest, and I said if anyone becomes a member today, that they can put their hand into my koala and pull out. Have a feel in there. I bet you've not had your hand in a koala before, but there's a special pin for you.
And I get a pin to put on my lapel now. So thank you for the lapel pin. And go to the website once again. What is it?
Spinalresearch.com.au.
Awesome. So go to spinalresearch.com.au and give some of your treasure to somebody that's really making a difference in the chiropractic profession, protecting the sacred trust and doing things that I believe in. And that's why we created Chiro Hustle, was to keep free speech alive and well in the beautiful profession of chiropractic. And I'm going to close out by saying you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. We'll see you on the next one.